Tonight the world witnessed something unforgettable, something emotional, something historic. And her name is ALYSA LIU. This was not just another Olympic performance, this was redemption, resilience, and the rebirth of American figure skating on the biggest stage in the world at the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina. The spotlight burned brighter than ever, and standing in the center of that spotlight was a young woman who once walked away from the sport entirely, and now she has skated her way into history books forever. The journey to this moment did not begin this season. It did not even begin this Olympic cycle. It began years ago, when a fearless young teenager shocked the skating world with technical brilliance and unshakable confidence. ALYSA LIU was once known as the prodigy, the future, the next big thing in American skating. She broke records. She landed jumps women her age were not supposed to land. And she carried the weight of expectations before she was old enough to drive. But what many people forget is that greatness often comes with pressure, and pressure can become overwhelming after competing at the 2022 Winter Olympics. ALYSA stunned the sports world by stepping away from figure skating. She was only 16 years old. When she announced her retirement, fans were confused, critics were shocked, analysts debated whether we had seen the last of a generational talent. But for ALYSA, it was simple. She needed to breathe. She needed to rediscover who she was outside medals and score sheets and expectations. And in that decision, we saw something rare: courage, not the courage to compete, but the courage to walk away. For 2 years, she disappeared from the competitive spotlight. The ice rinks grew quieter, without her name echoing through arenas, and American figure skating entered uncertain territory. The United States had not seen an Olympic women's champion since 2002. The drought felt heavy. Every competition reminded fans of the gap between past glory and present struggle. But quietly behind the scenes, something was changing. ALYSA LIU was healing, rediscovering her love for skating, rebuilding not just her jumps, but her mindset. When she announced her comeback in 2024, many wondered if lightning could strike twice. The sport had evolved, the competition had intensified, younger skaters were rising from Japan, Korea, Europe. The technical bar was higher than ever. And yet ALYSA returned not as the pressured prodigy, but as a more mature athlete, skating for joy instead of validation. And that difference changed everything. The 2025 World Championships became the first sign that this comeback was real. ALYSA delivered performances filled with both technical precision and emotional depth. She was no longer skating to prove something, she was skating to express something. And when she captured the world title, it sent a message across the skating universe. The comeback was complete, and the Olympics were next. Fast forward to Milan Cortina 2026. The atmosphere inside the arena was electric: flags waving, cameras flashing, millions watching around the globe. The women's figure skating event is always one of the crown jewels of the Winter Olympics. And this year the pressure felt even heavier. Japan arrived with powerhouse contenders, including Kaori Sakamoto, the reigning Olympic medalist known for her speed and consistency. The field was stacked, the margin for error razor thin. And yet all eyes kept drifting back to ALYSA LIU. Short programs set the tone: calm, controlled, confident. She delivered clean jumps, effortless spins, and choreography that felt alive, not forced. When her score appeared, she was firmly in contention. But the real drama was always going to unfold in the free skate, because that is where Olympic dreams are either realized or shattered. As she stepped onto the ice for her free skate, the arena fell into a hush. This was the moment, years in the making. The music began, and from the first movement you could see it in her face: focus, but also freedom. Her opening combination jump soared high, rotated, clean, landed solid. Applause erupted. But she did not react. She stayed locked in, triple jump after triple jump, each element executed with surgical precision. Yet what separated this performance was not just the technical content, it was the emotion. Her edges were deep, her transitions smooth, her interpretation magnetic. She was not just skating. She was telling a story of loss, growth, and return. Midway through the program, there is always that critical point: fatigue creeps in, legs grow heavy, concentration wavers. But champions push through. ALYSA attacked her next jump with full commitment, landing it cleanly as the crowd gasped. And then came the step sequence: fast, intricate, perfectly timed to the music, every movement amplified by the stakes of the moment. And when she entered her final spin sequence, the entire arena rose to its feet. Before the music even ended, they knew they were watching something special. The final pose hit. The music stopped, and for a split second there was silence, the kind of silence that happens when thousands of people are processing greatness at the same time. And then the explosion, cheers, screams, flags, waving teammates crying in the stands. ALYSA covered her face, overwhelmed not by nerves, but by realization she had delivered the skate of her life on the biggest stage imaginable. Now came the wait, the longest seconds in any athlete's life. Scores flashing on the screen, technical marks, component scores, deductions analyzed in real time. And then it happened, the total appeared. And she had done it. ALYSA Liu was the Olympic champion, the first American woman in 24 years to win Olympic gold in women's figure skating. History had been rewritten. And the drought was over. Across the ice, her competitors showed grace and sportsmanship. Kaori Sakamoto earned silver after a strong performance, proving once again why she remains one of the most respected skaters in the sport. Ami Nakai captured bronze, marking a powerful showing for Japan. But this night belonged to ALYSA Liu, the comeback story, the redemption arc, the athlete who once walked away and came back stronger than ever. The medal ceremony felt almost cinematic as the American flag rose above the arena and the national anthem echoed through Milan Cortina. You could see tears in her eyes, not tears of pressure, but tears of fulfillment. This was not the dream of a pushed prodigy. This was the achievement of a young woman who chose her own path, rediscovered her love, and returned on her own terms. What makes this victory so powerful is not just the gold medal, it is what it represents in modern figure skating, where burnout is common and expectations can crush even the strongest talents. ALYSA Liu showed that stepping away does not mean giving up. Sometimes it is the first step toward something greater. She rewrote the narrative that early retirement equals lost potential. She proved that mental health, self-awareness, and personal growth can coexist with elite performance for American figure skating. This moment signals renewal, a new generation inspired by a champion who values both excellence and balance. Young skaters across the country watched this performance and saw more than technical brilliance. They saw authenticity, they saw joy, and perhaps most importantly, they saw possibility. As analysts break down the numbers and highlight reels, replay the jumps, the deeper impact of this victory will continue to unfold. In interviews, ALYSA spoke with humility, saying she could barely process what had happened, that she was simply grateful to skate again. And maybe that is the secret: the absence of fear, the absence of crushing expectation, the presence of gratitude. From teenage phenom to retired prodigy to world champion to Olympic gold medalist, the arc of ALYSA Liu's career now stands as one of the most compelling stories in modern sports. And it reminds us why we watch the Olympics in the first place, not just for medals, not just for records, but for human stories, stories of struggle, resilience, courage, and triumph. Tonight, the ice in Milan Cortina became the canvas for a masterpiece, and ALYSA Liu painted it with blades and belief. The drought is over, the comeback is complete, and American figure skating has its champion once again. And if this journey has taught us anything, it is that sometimes the most powerful victories are the ones that come after walking away, because when passion returns on your own terms, it burns brighter than ever. And under the Olympic lights, ALYSA Liu did not just win gold, she reclaimed her story, and in doing so she inspired millions around the world.